There's a new video that Amazon Prime Video UK has released, a so-called Superfan roundtable discussion about the new Lord of the Rings trailer, where they've hand-selected 4 people to have like this reaction video to the trailer and talk about it and get excited about it. This video is now unlisted on the channel, but the link we have is still working last I checked, so go check it out if you haven't watched it yet, because it is something special. What do you think about this roundtable discussion, Red?
Not really roundtable, but that's what they call it. But they're all, it's a few influencers that they call quote-unquote super fans that they're interviewing about their reaction, I guess, at this special event that they brought them to see that trailer. And the things that they mention in that video have all to do with all the diversity of this new show and the changes that they're making. And it seems like they are catering towards trying to change the source material, trying to maybe attack or criticize, maybe attack's not the right word, criticize what came before. And so, I don't know, you had a chance to watch that video. What did you think about it?
So before I watched the video, I actually had a much more positive view about what Amazon might do with Lord of the Rings. I was a little hesitant just because I knew a lot of fans were upset about the lore, but I thought, give it a chance, and they might just give us a great story. With Amazon deciding to put out this video, where they have 4 actors, that it seemed like it was a scripted video of them all gushing over random things that I didn't understand they were excited about. Like they saw a knife and they talked about how they wanted to know where that knife came from, the one that Galadriel stabbed into the ice. All these things that they were gushing about, it seemed extremely scripted. It seemed like Amazon was really trying to almost prove to the fans that were upset about the lore changing and their concerns that they didn't care about the lore or anything. It seems like Amazon is focusing less on putting out a good story that we will care about the characters, their progression, good dialogue. I'm sure we would hope to have some good love stories, some good action scenes. And it doesn't seem like they are pushing this cool story idea to us. It seems like they're trying to push having just diversity, which I'm not saying diversity is bad. That's totally fine. I had no issues with there being a very diverse cast in this show, even though that goes against the lore a bit. But when you are far more focused on just giving us diversity instead of getting us excited about a good storyline and a good show, then it really raises red flags to me. Because a lot of media that's put out nowadays doesn't give us a good storyline, doesn't give us a good plot. It just tries to tick all the boxes to make sure that everyone that's on screen is representing a different group. Which again is fine that they're representing a different group, but that's not enough to base a story on.
You combine that with the fact that they also have the task that they've set before themselves because they haven't acquired the rights to the Silmarillion or the other stories that are already pre-written here. So they also have the task of writing stories that should live up to what Tolkien wrote. So it should live up to the spirit of what Tolkien wrote. That's a monumental task in of itself. If that doesn't have your complete focus, then this will fail, because it's got to have that ring of Tolkien. It's got to feel Tolkienian. And even though they're saying that, these showrunners, J.D. Payne, Patrick McKay, are saying that they're trying to make it sound Tolkienian, and they're trying, and that they've got unnamed Tolkien scholars on working with them, collaborating with them. The fact that the studio seems to be focusing on catering to people who only wanted their main requirement for this is that it be diverse. I don't think any of us really want anything other than a good story to take the priority here. We don't want any other objective. And Peter Jackson even famously said in an interview, when they started making that Lord of the Rings trilogy, that they made a resolution to not put their own politics, their own worldviews into that trilogy. They wanted to make something that paid homage to Tolkien, that respected the author, that really showcased what he had built. And so with some of these things that have come out since then, the articles and this promotional video from the Amazon Prime UK channel, that indicates to me that their focus is definitely on trying to check these boxes that Hollywood wants to see checked now, and to have that diversity, which, like you said, in of itself is acceptable and fine, but if that's where your focus is, then it's not going to be on the story, and the story we're going to get is going to be awful. And then you feel bad because then you have all these diverse characters, but you haven't given them a good story to stand on. And so the focus will just be on what they did to provide diversity, and that really cuts against it, because then those actors will then be the target, I'm sure, of a lot of harassment, which is really sad. My hope would be that they write something good for these characters and for these actors, for these performers. Otherwise, that's going to be a stain on their career. It's just more red flags on top of what was already there about them condensing the storyline, the timeline, about them condensing the timeline, and all these other things that they're doing, changes they're making to the characters, changes they're making to the lore. That shows me that they really don't have an interest in a faithful adaptation, and so I think this is going to be a train wreck.
It seems like they're already setting up to try to be divisive. And when a studio does that, it does not bode well for them, I do not believe. Star Wars really tried to do that with their sequels. They really leaned into being divisive, and I do not think that did well for the Star Wars universe. Now, I don't want to judge the Lord of the Rings show yet. Obviously, it has not come out yet. It won't be out till September 2nd, I believe. And at that point, maybe they will give us something great. Maybe we will have a good story. As long as they do give us a good story, then I don't care what color of people you have in what cast. I don't care what gender they are. I don't care what their sexual preferences are. As long as you're giving me a good story, that's all I want to see. But right now it seems like that's the focus, and so that does make me nervous.
Absolutely. I agree. So we'll see. Now, there has been the argument made that this is just that the first teaser has been out. That's a minute of content. You wouldn't want to judge a show on that minute of content. Obviously, all these other things are concerns as well, but as we get the first official trailer, that will be interesting to see if there's any changes made, or if there are any indications that this could in fact be an interesting story. When I look at that trailer again, I don't know what I'm looking at. I don't know what the story's about. I really don't understand what's going on in any of that. So I'd like to know what kind of a story they're trying to tell, what kind of a story arc this is going to have, and so we'll go from there.
Make sure to let us know in the comments below what you guys think about this video from Amazon, the direction they're going, and anything else you have thoughts on with Lord of the Rings and the other articles and videos they're putting out. Thanks for giving this a watch.